am I not seeing this? That's in, that's in, that's in. That's in. Okay, that should be working, that should be working. All right, hold tight. I'm trying to get this thing working properly. Well, now that's interesting. It's not what I wanted to do. Shit. Oh, that's what. No, it's not what I want. Damn it. That's not what I want either. Sorry, guys, got a minor problem here. Just trying to figure this out. Dreams of no reply. Don't know why I keep doing this one. Nobody ever shows up here. You know what I mean? So, okay, why am I not seeing anything behind me? All right, I'm fucking lost here. No, I don't want another one. All right. Recording, settings, blah, 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 blah. Snapchat, audio, stream, hotkeys, advanced, stream. We got that. That's going, that's going, that's going. I don't know what I'm doing. Makes no sense to me. Well, that being the case, I gotta look at this and I gotta look at that, but I don't have it down here. Makes me a little frustrated. So, who do we have here tonight? Who that works? No, there we go, and there we go. All right, let's see if we get this rolling properly. Now, hello from California, Vino. It's interesting, YouTube is down, yet you're still able to go live. Kansas, checking in, how are you? So why am I not seeing anything here? I'm a little confused. Interesting. Okay. Let's see. Green. What's happening, Mr. Green? Here we go. Shorts. Where's mine? Hold on, right there. Sign in, out, do blah, 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 blah. View your channel. Okay. There we go. We got 2 of them live there. How do I get the chat? I don't know. 3 more links. Posts. No. Live. Okay. No, 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 no. Damn. A little bit of a loss here. All right, well, that being said, let's go take a look at what we're looking for. Yahoo Finance, there we go. Okay, Yahoo Finance, get out of there. All right, we're just getting started. I got a few minor details. Let's get this thing rolling, not now. Okay, here we go. Cathie Wood. Ooh, 50% plunge. That's not a good thing. Okay, hello. Hello, hello, hello. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 cameras. Oh my goodness. Oh my. Oh hell yes. Gotta put on that party dress. All right, I'm not done yet. Still getting set up. I did something wrong and I have no idea what's going on here. All right. Is that it? Yes, it is. All right, that's what I needed right there. And we got YouTube, we got that right there. Okay, I think we're ready to go. All right, let's do this. Who is here tonight? Let's see who's here. Tonight. SAS, home service, how are you today? I don't want to move this one too much. All right, that's good. Okay. Such ho. Okay. Michael Corey, am I on the air? Yes, I am. All right, good evening. It's interesting. YouTube's down. Okay, got that one. Hello from California. Kansas checking in. Steve, how's it going there, Mr. Steve? Hello from Wrinklewood, Florida. You got to be in Hollywood. That's the only way that comes up. I'm looking at a few stocks. T-Mobile could be good. Steve, sit tight for 1 second. I got to say hi to everybody else before we get the ball rolling. Let's do this. Reverse that. Do that. Do this. Bring this all the way back. There we go. Change this. See, I can reverse the camera on TikTok. I can't flip the camera around on YouTube. It just is what it is. Okay, so let's see who's here tonight. Crow. Hello from Crow Agency in Montana. Ooh, Montana, big sky country. Never been. I'd like to go someday. All right, so let's see who's here tonight. Okay, we know Doug's here. Crow's here. Who do we got? We got XXO file opener. Okay. Nick, what's up? Will, Simba, Nick, Kid from Broward. Hardin, good evening. Digital Camper, okay. Tiago, Miranda, good evening. Sam, Cindy, Richard, good evening, Cindy. Behavitra, okay. Behavitra, okay. Derek, good evening. File opener, cool beans. 7 Foray, good evening. Who do we have here? We got Angel, Chubby T, Tom, OC Master Healer, Wiki Brown, Francisco Garcia, how you doing? Donnie J, Starcast, Bluebird, New York Nana, John the Beast, way to go, Mr. John. Rod Reed the Great, way to go, Rod Reed the Great. Samuel, Joe, Lord Arthur, good evening, Lord Arthur. Blessed to be in your presence, O great one. Laurie, Randall, Katima, Easy E-Tool Talk, cool. Randy Biggs, Joe, John Bohe, back again, Mr. John, how you doing? TikTok cameras reversed, we already fixed that, thank you, Phil. Rick McQueen, Lev, Ollie, Mike Kelly, good evening. Business on My. Okay. Ocean Breeze, Dex White, Gigi, Annie, Brian, Jeffrey, Abo, Drew, Zach, Karakina. Okay. The Crew to Do Ty. Okay. Iceman, 14, Miami. VJ, Remy, Alyssa, Kevin, Esteban, Pippin Bippin. Oh, Pippin Bippin. Okay. Violently Remove. Okay. Bob Garner, Iron Man, Michael, Mr. Green, what's going on? Nick, NG Barbershop, Huddle, Dick Cooney, Mr. B, Steve Fitz, Woody, Sav, Shackleton, Jack McDonough, Hat Trick, Sergio, Sco, Jack McDonough. Would you rather invest 25 per day or 100 per week? 25 per day, brother. Nicola, David, Hunter Brown. Thank you there, Hunter. Duggo, back again, I see. Jack McDonald. Okay, Jack only asked the question once because it clogs up the screens, asking the same questions over and over and over again. Also known as Duggo from TikTok. Hey, Duggo, you're in 2 different channels, brother. Eric, please look at Meta. Okay, Eric, I don't know how to tell this to you politely, Eric. Meta does not fit what I'm looking to do. What I'm looking for, Eric, is a simple, safe, predictable, consistent 1% per week using nothing but pre-qualified dividend stocks. Now, I know Meta has just started paying dividend, but they're only on year number 3. So, no. Okay, you got to wait at least 2 decades before I start looking at something for me to put it. But I'll look at it for other people, but for me, no. Meta just does not fit. What else do we have over here? XRP Fresh. We'll take a look at AT&T for you. Business on My, okay. XRP, we got that one. Duggo, Laurie, can you flip the screen on TikTok? Okay, thank you, Laurie. Freckle Queen, good evening. Nicholas, can we look at Microsoft? We'll take a look at it in a little bit. Let's pause right here. Okay, Duggo wants to take a look at Ford. Only have one minor issue today. The minor issue today is the way I left my computer last night is not the same way it is at the moment. So I'm not looking at my screen here. I'm looking at the screen over there, and that's going to be frustrating as hell because I'm used to doing it right here. Anyway, where's my pen? There's my pen. Let's do this. Are we ready? Let's get the ball rolling. Good evening. My name is James. This is Dividend Stock Talk, where I invest in dividend stocks for weekly cash flow. I'm looking for a simple, safe, predictable, consistent 1% per week. Now, when I say pre-qualified dividend stocks, I'm talking about companies that are consistently profitable for at least 2 decades. Okay, now that's 20 years, 2 decades. Now, if you think that's not enough or you think that's too much, let me just give you a little bit of history. Stock market's been around since 1607. The first dividend stock was sold to the public in 1602. It took them 5 years to figure out, hey, this is working. Let's build a house where we can actually do our trading. Okay? So, that being said, 420 some odd years of working in the stock market. 420 some odd years. So I really don't think 20 years, 2 decades is a lot to look at. Okay? Is the company consistently profitable or are they not? It's plain and simple. Either they are or they're not. Now, I will take a look at whatever you want, but don't expect me to be all happy and fluttery with something you come up with that just doesn't fit. Okay, like Meta. Meta just doesn't fit, no matter how you look at it. Okay, we're going to take a look at AT&T in a little bit, all right? First, let's pull up Meta, and I'll show you why it doesn't fit. M-E-T-A. Meta. Come on. Here we go. Now, I got to move this thing back and forth because it's just not working right. All right. You ready? Here we go. Meta. Right there. We're going to take a look at the dividends. Now, this is a dividend investing channel. We look at dividend stocks. Now, I'm not looking to collect the dividend. I just want dividend stocks because they're predictable, they're consistent, they're profitable, and they're safe, in my humble opinion, but that's just my opinion. Okay, so $639 per share for Meta. Do you see the issue that I'm having here? Who came up with Meta? Eric. February 2024 was the very first dividend that Meta paid. February 2024. That means it's only 2 years. We're going on year number 3. When I say I want 2 decades, that's 10, 20 years. So no, Meta does not fit what I'm looking for. Okay, well, let's pull it up. Oh, this is going to be a pain in the butt. It really is. Because I can't see the screen 5 feet away. It's a 60-inch screen, and I can't see it 5 feet away. Just getting old crap really less than desirable. How's that? Less than desirable. Okay, so let's put Meta in here. Okay, so we're going to look at Meta, even though I don't like it. And we're going to say no right off the top. Do you know why? Look at this. Here's a 30-day top, dropping, dropping, dropping. Now, if you really like Meta, give it a couple of days. They'll find the bottom, and then it will turn around and go back up again. But at this moment in time, no. Sorry. Duggo wants to take a look at Ford. Now, I like me some Ford. I do. No. Wasn't that quick? It's at the high. Now, certain things I do and certain things I do not do. Number 1, I don't pick bottoms because I'm not very good at it. Plain and simple. I'm not good at it, so I don't even bother trying it. Now, I stay away from the top. Because you make money in the stock market buying low and selling high. Greenwoods, how's it going? I see you there, Greenwoods. Okay, think about it. You make money buying low and selling high, not buying high and waiting for it to go higher. No, it just doesn't work that way. But hey, I don't tell people what to do. Okay, I do something that works for me, and I'm just sharing it. Okay, all right. So, Jack. All right, Jack, I got that already. Nicholas wants to take a look at Microsoft. MSFT. Okay, we're going to have the same problem with Microsoft as we did with Meta. Okay, the high, the low, where is it? Look at this. Down, up, down. That's it. If you really like it, wait for the bottom to show up. Down, up, down, up, down. Okay, that's not working out right. Why is that? That's a little better. There we go, that much better. That works better. So anyway, Microsoft, okay, she's dropping. Again, I'm going to wait for the bottom to show up, and it'll probably show up this week or next week. So yeah, I'm going to put Microsoft on my list for next week. Okay, Microsoft for next week. What do we have next? What do we have? Yo, yo, yo! How's Lowe's? Mr. Rick, let's check it out. Hold on a second. What's your TikTok handle? Okay, Crow, my TikTok handle is 2 of them. You ready? Dividend Stock Talk, The 10MinuteTrader. Either one. Dividend Stock Talk or The 10MinuteTrader. And 10 is actually 10. The 10-minute trader, the 10-minute trader. Or tick. Okay. Anyway, ADP, Aaron, ADP. We'll take a look at that in a second. What did I miss? All right, Microsoft we looked at, Meta we looked at. Meta 637.5 pays 650 for 218 call, strike 239. Yeah, Eric, I know that. I see that. I can see all that. Missing, Eric, is number one, Meta is in a downturn. That's number one. Number two, Meta only has 2 years of dividends. They're working on year number 3. So, no. Thank you, Eric. Riley, how you doing? Jim Keene, Cotton Express, back and again. I see that. You want to take a look at K-View, K-View, K-View. K-V-U-E, K-View. What do we have over here? Wow, nobody's even here tonight. That's weird. Okay, I'm okay with that. All right, K-View. Okay, now K-View doesn't look that bad, but let's take a better look at it. Here's the top. Here's the bottom. Here's where it was. Here's where it is. Look at this. Sideways, down, and then up. We're at 841. 1841. The 1850 is going for 30 cents. That's over 1.5%. Now remember, I'm only looking for 1% per week. Did you hear that? That sounded terrible. Much better. Oh, maybe not. But what's happening here? Now, not only is she bouncing up the bottom and going up, I want to zoom in a little closer to see exactly what's happening. So look at the last 30 days. That doesn't look that good from this side. Now, it looks good if you already own the stock, but it doesn't look very good if we're looking to buy it. Here's my reasoning. Okay, I could be wrong. You guys, you guys figure out what makes sense to you, and you figure out, what's best for you. I'm just giving you pointers on what I do. Okay? All right, so 30 days ago, here's the high, here's the low, here's where it was, here's where it is. Look at this. That's it. It's just going up. Now, you may look at it and think to yourself, ooh, it's going up. Maybe it's going to continue. Yeah, I don't think so. Let's take a look. The bottom was 1660. She jumps up to 19. So 16 to 19 is about a 16 or 17% increase. From here to here is about a 17% increase. It's more than 10%. If you bought a stock 30 days ago and it jumps up 16, 17%, are you going to keep it? Or are you going to jump out, take your profits, and run? Because the funny thing about profits, are you ready? Funny thing about profits, number one, it's not a profit until you take it. Number two, nobody ever went broke taking profits. Number three, if you don't take your profit, don't be shocked, surprised, appalled, unhappy, pissed off, or anything like that if the market maker takes it away from you. There are many times have I seen a stock shoot up, very next day, big drop. I've seen it many times. Now, I've been investing for almost 30 years, exclusively on this trading strategy for the last 15 or 16, because I like simple, safe, predictable, and consistent. All right, what do we have down here? All right, Jason, Mr. Green, yo, how about Lowe's? Mr. Rick wants to take a look at Lowe's. I'm going to say no to Lowe's. Here's the reason. I don't buy anything at the high, and if we zoom in a little closer, okay, the high was on Thursday. Friday was lower. Today was lower. See that? Down, up, down. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Lowe's. I really do. Lowe's is what you call a dividend king. A dividend king is any company that has consistently increased its dividends every single year. Are you ready for this? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. 5 decades, a half a century. Lowe's has increased its profits for 50 years. But not today. We should have 2 weeks ago. See, it dropped, found the bottom. Bottom, 1, 2, 3. That's where I would have jumped in there and taken that ride. Now, I said I would have, but I didn't because my money's tied up in other positions. But I do love me some Lowe's. Okay? Sorry about that. Lowe's is coming down a little bit. Uh-oh. Alexander wants to take a look at spaghetti. Well, let's pull it up. SPGI. I just call it spaghetti because that's what it looks like to me. Because I'm Italian. Let me try it again. SPGI. Interesting. Now I say interesting because I'm looking for 5 things in particular. Okay. 5, you ready? Number 1, the high of the year. Number 2, the low of the year. Number 3, where was it a year ago? Number 4, where is it today? And number 5, down, up, down, up, down, up. The motion of the ocean, the path through the woods, the bend around the river, whatever you want to call it. What is the movement? Down, up, down, up, down, up. That's the current movement. Now, you may not know this if you're new here, but this screen here is live on YouTube. So if you can't see the numbers on your phone or on your iPad or however you're watching it, you can go in the other room, pull up the big screen TV, and there you go. Big screen, you can see everything. That being said, let's zoom into spaghetti and see what it looks like. Last 30 days, what do you think? 30-day high, big drop. I love a big drop on a good company because a big drop on a good company means a nice comeback. Okay, you make your most money buying low and selling high. You got to ask yourself, do I like SPGI? Then take a look at it. 30 days ago, we're at 540. We dropped all the way down to 380. Now she's bouncing off that bottom. Stocks go down until they're done. And this thing was done on Thursday. Okay? Thursday was the bottom. Friday was higher. Today is higher. That's 2 days to the upside. One more day and I'd jump in. But all my money's tied up. All my money's tied up Mondays and Tuesdays. And then I just sit back and relax Wednesday, Thursday. And Friday I check and make sure. Am I right? Am I wrong? What adjustments do I need to make? Now I do it every week and it may sound like a lot, but it's not. 5 to 10 minutes, that's all it is. 5 to 10 minutes. The strategy is called the 10-minute strategy. It was specifically designed, you like that? It was specifically designed for my 9-year-old daughter. She said to me one night, "Daddy, can you teach me?" I said, okay. Who knows? Who knew it would turn into what it is nowadays? Because that's where all my money comes from nowadays. I invest in good quality companies. I sell weekly options. And I get weekly cash flow from the money that I have accumulated after working 5 decades. My first job was in 1974. I retired 2 years ago, 2003. Okay? So you've got to figure out, what are you going to do? Because almost everybody here has to contribute to society in one way or the other. How are you contributing? What are you doing? How are you being compensated? And what are you doing with that money? Are you spending it all and not putting any away for your future? Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. It's coming. Whether you like it or not, whether you agree or not. Friday is just a couple of days away. And what happens then? Friday's a couple of days away. And then what happens then? Friday's a couple of days away. You can't run and hide from it. You can't. Okay? As the sands flow through the hourglass, so do the days of our lives. Okay? Some of you know what that comes from. Some of you don't, but that's okay. All right. I like spaghetti. I do. Okay? Bouncing up. 410. The 410s are going for 570. Let's see if spaghetti's going to be the first one for the evening. And that, we're going to get rid of this. We're going to change that to covered call. And we're going to do the 410. Because the current price right now is $410.45. So for me, the safest trade, yep, that guy, that's options. Absolutely, it's options. What were you thinking? The safest trade for me is to buy the stock at $410.45 and then turn around and sell it for $410. I'm actually going to sell it for less than I paid for it. So this is cuckoo? Is that a good word for it? Crazy? Buy a stock $410.45 and sell it for less than I paid for it and still walk away with a profit. Isn't that amazing? I'm going to buy it for $410, $45. I'm going to sell it for $410, and I'm going to walk away with a profit. And guess what? The stock doesn't have to move at all. That's the exciting thing about it. When I saw it, okay, imagine this. My 9-year-old says, Daddy, what are you doing? Can you teach me? Okay, so how do you teach a 9-year-old how to invest in the stock market when most adults don't even understand it? The strategy has to be simple, it has to be safe, predictable, consistent, and no way for her to lose. That's the 5 criteria. So along with that, we come up with 5 rules. The 5 rules are very simple. I'm going to tell them to you, and you're going to say, duh, that's just common sense. All right, here we go. You ready? Rule number 1, never buy something you do not want to own. Isn't that a crazy idea? If you don't want to own it, if you don't understand it, you shouldn't be buying it. Plain and simple. If you don't know what the stock does, if you don't know anything about them, if you haven't done your research, you shouldn't buy it. Rule 2, never sell at a loss. It defeats the purpose of the game. And don't kid yourself, it is a game. It's an adult game with adult consequences. You can lose a lot of money if you don't pay attention to what you're doing. That is the main reason most people just say, I don't want to do it, you do it. And they give their money to someone else. Apple user, you are first telling the truth. Meta is worth 150. Thank you, Apple user. Okay, thank you. So ask yourself the question, do I like the company? Do I want to buy it? Do I want to own it? Second, never sell at a loss. Third, now I'm going to tell you this, and you're going to say, that is so freaking amazing. So amazingly simple and stupid, I don't know why people don't do it. Are you ready? Rule number 3, make sure the company is consistently profitable. What does that mean? Well, for me, it means 2 decades. I need 2 hands for this one. You ready? 10, 20 years of increased profits. Now, you got 2 choices, all right? Choice number 1 is you can read through all the quarterly reports and all the annual reports that you want to find out, is the company profitable or not? But I'm a lazy trader. I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to say it a little louder for those in the back who didn't hear me. I'm a lazy trader. I don't want to read 20 years of I just said it a second ago, 20 years of quarterly earnings reports and annual reports. I don't want to read them. I want to go directly to the dividend. And you know why I go directly to the dividend? Because the original promise in 1602, the original promise was, have I got a deal for you? You give us your money and we will share our profits with you. That is it, the original promise. You give us your money and we will share our profits. That's the very first dividend stock. They went door to door, raising money, promising the investors a share of the profits. So if the company's profitable, you get money. If the company's not profitable, you don't get any money. Here's the thing. Think about it this way. If, let's say, hypothetically, the company makes $100 million year one. Year two, they make $125 million. Year three, $150 million. Year four, $200 million. And every single year, they make more and more and more and more money. Well, guess what? As an investor, you are entitled to a portion of those profits. And if the profits increase, so do the dividends. It's directly related. Okay, the dividends go up, the profits go up. The profits go down, the dividends go down. Do you see where I'm getting? I want 2 decades of increased profits. That's rule number 3. And you will be surprised of how many people put their money into companies that are not consistently profitable. Meta, for instance, they only have 3 years of dividends. Actually, they have 2 years of dividends. They're on the 3rd year. I won't look at them until 17 more years because I want 2 decades. Now, if you didn't know, every week we check and see how many stocks they've added. So as of Monday, 10,934. 10,934 different companies. I only look at 300 because only 300 fit what I'm looking for. Okay, rule 3, consistency of profitability. Rule 4, weekly options only. Now that's for me. You want to do monthly options? Great. You want to do stocks with no options? Great. I'm just telling you what I'm looking for. And the reason I'm looking for weekly options, I grew up in the 60s and 70s. We didn't know any better. We went to work 8 o'clock in the morning on Monday. Friday at 4:30, 5 o'clock, we went home and we enjoyed the weekend. Same thing with the stock market. Stock market opens up 9:30 a.m. and it closes at 4 p.m. on Friday. I'm perfectly okay with that. And I'm also perfectly okay getting a paycheck every single week from my investments. Okay? Rule 5, make sure the numbers work. Now, when I say make sure the numbers work, let me show you, then you'll understand a little bit better, okay? Here we go. Make sure the numbers work. What am I buying it for? $410.45. That's the current price, $410.45. What am I selling it for? I don't want to hold on to it. I don't. Now, I want to buy it as if I was going to hold it. Now, I don't mind holding anything as long as it pays me 1% every single week. But let's go over the numbers. $410.45. I'm going to sell it $410 using a covered call. It's a simple trade. We'll get to that in a minute. Now, the 410 option, I don't even know what it's selling for. Hold on a second. The 410 option is selling for $570 per contract. That's $5.70 per share. Now, remember I said I'm looking for 1%. What is 1% of $410.45? I'm going to say it a little slower for those of you who didn't get it. You ready? What is 1% of 410? What's 1% of 410? Michael, thank you for that. 1% of 410 is 410. $410, 1% is $4.10. The video is reversed. Oh, it is. Holy cow. Sit tight. And there we go. There we go. All right, back to where we were. Sorry about that. So I'm looking for 1% every week. So what am I buying it for? 410. What am I selling it for? 410. What am I bringing in? 570. 570 is more than 410. That works for me. So there you go. The 5 rules. Never buy something you don't want to own. Never sell at a loss. Make sure the company's profitable. Weekly options only. And make sure the numbers work. That's it. Okay? So let's keep on keeping on. Let's actually do a trade here so you can actually see how it works and watch the mechanics. Now, every single video I do is recorded. Okay, so as of today, it is 9:43 p.m. on the 17th day of February. So if you're listening to this other than 9:43 p.m., the 17th of February, 2026, it is a recording. Right now, it's live. Okay, so let's keep on going. Can you explain what options are? Holy cow. You ready? This is what an option is. Do you want this or this? That's an option. Do you want this or this? That's another option. Do you want this or this? That's another option. An option is a choice. That's all it is. Now we have call options and we have put options. Think of it this way. If you want to talk to somebody, you call them up. You think the stock is going to go up. When you're done, you put it down. Put it down. Think about it. You're calling up, you're putting down. If you think the stock's going to go up, you do a call. If you think the stock's going to go down, you do a put. How you arrange it is totally up to you. You can buy a call, you can sell a call. You can buy a put, you can sell a put. My suggestion, a little tiny bit of advice, is find one strategy and stick to it until you perfect it. Once you perfect it, then look at another strategy. Let me briefly show you. All right, now, when it comes to stock, it's buy, sell. That's it. Stocks, buy, sell. That's it, you get 2 choices. But when it comes to options, whole different ball game. You got single option. Let me go over this side so you can see better. You got single options, vertical, back ratio, a calendar, diagonal, a straddle, a strangle, covered, collar, synthetic, butterfly, condor, iron condor, vertical roll, collar with the stock, double diagonal, unbalanced, and deep and wide. So you got a whole bunch of trading strategies. I'm only going to give you one for free. That's all I do is give one for free. Now, I do trade other strategies. Not here. Here, I give away one. And the reason why I give away only one, it's the simplest, easiest, and it's pretty damn good. Think about it. It was created for a 9-year-old. You buy the stock, you sell the option, you get 1% a week. That's over 50% per year. Simple. Boom, boom, boom. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. It's not that difficult. Okay, so let's keep on going. Let's go on with our example. So we said we're going to buy it at 410.45. We're going to sell it at 410. Let's do it and see what the numbers look like, and you decide whether that makes sense or not. The 410. I need my glasses, damn it. 410, there it is. All right, now I'm going to change this to just one contract because I don't want to scare you away with big numbers. All right, let's confirm and send. Now we're going to read it out loud to make sure that it makes sense. You ready? Buy one covered call spaghetti, SPGI. It's not the real company name, but it looks like spaghetti. One covered call SPGI 20 February 26. That means this option trade is going to expire this coming Friday. 3 days, that's it. The 410 call option, that's what I'm selling it for, 410. actually selling it for less than I'm paying for it. 640 is my profit. 40,000 is my investment. Now that might hurt some of you. 40,000 is investment. Well, not all stocks are $400 stocks. There's some $3 stocks, there's some $2 stocks, there's some $20 stocks, there's some $50 stocks. This is just an example for you to see. Now, when somebody gives me something to look at, I'll put it up. I might not buy it, but I'll put it up and look at it. Okay, so my profit, 640, 40 grand. Let's see what the rate of return is. Now, to find the rate of return, I need my chair. To find the rate of return, we're going to take the calculator and divide the profit by the investment. Calculator. Now, see, the funny thing is the calculator's down here. Okay, and I got to put it over there so you guys can see it. There it is. All right, you ready? The profit, 640. 640, and then we're going to divide it by the investment. Let me show that to you. Hold on a second. You ready? Cost of the trade, including commissions and fees. It's right there. $40,000. Now, remember earlier I said simple, safe, predictable, consistent 1% per week? Let me explain. You ready? Simple. The easiest strategy there is just buying and selling. That's the easiest. But there's a problem with that one. You actually have to wait for the stock to move before you make a profit or a loss, whatever. You have to wait. Well, this covered call, I don't have to wait. My profit is built into the trade. It's already there. I know what it is before I even do it. That is the predictable part. It's predictable. I know what I'm going to make before I even do it. Let me show you. Okay? My profit's right there. Maximum profit. $640 per contract. Now, like I said, 40,000 might be much for some of you. But as you get older, in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, 40,000 shouldn't be anything. Now, I know that might sound uncomfortable for some of you, especially those you just getting started out. But you can't get to 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 until you start. And you got to start. I started 30 years ago with 12,500. Okay, I took a second mortgage on my house and I put it in the stock market. I don't suggest you do that, okay, but I did. Okay, so we're going to divide it by the 40,000. All right, 40,000, 360, and that's going to give us a rate of return of 1.5% for 3 days. Now, I usually buy on a Monday, but there was a holiday Monday. Today, I did all my trading, so all my money's already invested. We're just looking at, for you guys, 1.5% for 3 days. Does it make sense? Let's save it because I like this one. I'll go over there. I'll put it back over there. That works. We're going to save this one. All right, right there. All right. 1.5% for 1 week, for 3 days. There it is. All right. What the hell did that come from? All right, that's what we found yesterday. Here's what we found today. All right, check that out. One covered call. Spaghetti, SPGI. February 26th. That means this option is going to expire this coming Friday. You're either right or you're wrong. But remember rule 1, never buy something you do not want to own. Okay? The 410 call option, my profit is 640 for each and every contract. My investment, 40,000. It's 1.5% for 1 week. Now we know that 1% every single week is over 50% per year. Okay, so 1.5 has got to be at least 80% per year. It's got to be. And I can deal with that. Even if it's 70, I can still deal with 70% a year. All right, so let's save this one. Damn it. I hate it when it does that. It does it every once in a while. I think it's doing it more often than it did before, which is never a good thing. All right, so while we're waiting for this to warm up, let's see what other questions we have. What do we have? We checked on Lowe's, SPGI, Alex, we got that one. Steve, thank you. Vino, what do you think about Bank of America? I bought 100, and by the time I tried to trade options, it fell like a rock. Ouch, why didn't you do it all in one swoop? You buy the stock, sell the option all at once. It's called a covered call. If you're doing it separately, it's easier for accounting purposes, but you could lose the opportunity. Let's take a look at it. Here we are, right here. 1.5. 1.5. Yay! Yay! 1.5. All right, so sorry about that, but let's take a look at Bank of America, see what that looks like. I'm going to need my glasses for this one. All right, let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Let's go back to there, and let's put in Bank of America, BAC. Wow. Okay. Out of curiosity, what'd you buy Bank of America at? Vino. What'd you get it? Okay, so take a look at Bank of America. Okay. The high, the low, where was it? Where is it? Look at this. Down, up, down, up, down. What's going on there? I want to zoom in to see what's happening. Last 30 days. Right there. There we go. Oh, come on. That doesn't look that bad. Vino, check it out. You ready? Okay. There's the top. Here's the bottom. She drops, shoots back up, drops again, only 1 day to the high side. Though, so Vino, I'm only going to give you a little bit of a hard time. You ready? You ready, Vino? Okay. Now, you've been here for a while, and you've heard me say it over and over and over again. I don't try to pick the bottom because I'm not very good at it. What made you decide to buy Bank of America today? Okay, the top was there. She dropped 1 day. That's it. There's the bottom right there. And today's only 1 day up. Now, you can do whatever you want, but you're asking my opinion. My opinion is I don't jump into anything until the third day to the upside. Because as it's dropping, it's still, look what happened on Friday. Lower bottom, lower top. Means it's still going down. It hasn't turned around yet. Today, higher bottom, higher top. Today was the first day to the upside. So why you got it, I have no idea. And I have no idea what you bought it at, and I have no idea what you sold against it. But at this moment right now, 52.74, the 52.50 is going for 74 cents. It's $74 per contract. That's over 1.5%. I don't know what the problem was. Let's keep on going. Andrew, I am going to explain to you what options are. Just sit tight for a second. Dylan. Oh, Dylan, the CPA, back again. Is your strategy buying shares and then selling covered calls at your cost basis? Absolutely, Dylan. It just makes sense. Oh, Crow wants to take a look at Southern Company, SO. I'm going to say no on Southern. Okay, the reason I'm saying no on Southern, check this out. Top, bottom, look at that. That's a 30-day top. Why the heck would I buy anything at a 30-day top? Look, 85 to 95. Now, 85 to 95 is only $10. Okay? But $10 on an $85 stock is at least 12% increase. So a month ago, it was at 85. Then it jumps up to 95. That's an 11 or 12% increase. Why would you want to buy it now? Crow says it's not profit until you take it. Nope. Nobody went broke taking profits. I like that one too. Can't see Thinkorswim screen on the other channel. Oh, because I don't know what I did wrong. I did something because I used to have the screen on all 3 screens. But now this one is all black, so I don't know how to fix it. I don't know what I did. Now, I'm good at some things. I'm just not good at everything. If you don't take your profits, don't be surprised if the market maker takes it away. My music, Gen X. Ooh, I was listening to some Aerosmith today. I like to crank that stuff while I'm working out. So true. You don't understand it, don't buy it. Rule 1. Music, my man. Gotta love that's a good one. Uh-oh, ONDS. ONDS. Try it again. ONDS. What the heck is this? I have no idea what this is. Oh, looks interesting. Now, I'm only saying it looks interesting, but it's going to be a no. Now, do you want to know why it's going to be a no, Hogan? Check this out. Okay, here's the high. Here's the low. Here's where it was. Here's where it is. Look at this. Sideways, up, down, up, down. The reason I'm saying no is this thing was at $1 March, April, May. It's at $1. Now, if it's at $1 in May, which was just a couple of months ago, if it's at $1, does it really have 2 decades of consistent profits? Think about it. It's at $1. How can you have 20 years, 20 years of profits on a stock that's $1? It's not something I want to play with, sorry. All right, what else we got? Michael Corey wants to take a look at SCCO. I have no idea what that is. SCCO. Southern Copper Corporation. Okay. It's dropping at the moment after a high. Did you take a look at the numbers? Take a look. Here's the high. Here's the low. Sideways, pulling back. Right there. I don't know what looks so attractive about that. Take a look. Here's the high. Here's the low. Here's where it was. Here's where it is. Shoots up, pulls back. Shoots up, pulls back. It's actually dropping at the moment. If you really like it, wait. Wait until the bottom shows up. Then buy it. Next. My music man. I know you're mostly a dividend guy. Do you invest in any H stocks? No. Think about it. Okay, it's not a matter of if. It's a matter of when. Not if, when. So you buy a stock and it doesn't pay dividends and it drops. What are you collecting? Nothing. And how do you know it's profitable? Do you actually read 20 years of quarterly statements and earnings? Yeah, no thanks. I like the cream of the crop, the best there is. That's Dividend Kings, 5 decades of increased profits. The Dividend Aristocrats, a quarter of a century of increased profits. I don't do the other stocks because when, it's not if, it's always, always, always when. Okay, take a look. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. That's all they do. They go up, they go down, they go up, they go down. Now, when it's going up, it's great. But if it's not paying you a dividend, it's not giving you any cash on a weekly or a monthly or quarterly basis, whatever, where are you getting your money from? Think about it. I'm retired. I need cash flow. Terribly sorry. I need cash flow. So if I need cash flow, I have to do something that brings in cash flow. So I do weekly options on companies that are profitable. And if and when they go down, I'm getting a higher and higher dividend every year. Now remember, before you came here and heard this crazy idea of getting money every single week, most people just bought stocks and collected the dividend every 90 days. That's what most people do. And most people still do it. Okay, not people come through here every night. Anywhere between 5,000 and 30,000 people will come through the 9 different channels. So we got 9 different channels. So we're live streaming on 9 different channels, going all corners of the world. But still, most people buy stocks just to collect the dividends, or they put it there and they wait for the stock to grow. No income coming in. That doesn't work for me. So, came up with that strategy. All right, so anyway, what do we have next? Next. All right. What do we have over here? What do we have over here? Enza. Uh-oh. Hold the phone. Enza made a mistake and bought APLD today. It's going down. APLD doesn't fit. Sorry, kiddo. Let's take a look at it. APLD. Now, we looked at it a couple of weeks ago. APLD. Now, the reason we looked at it a couple of weeks ago, APLD, because the premium was over 4% for the week, and it looked good. Oh, Enza. Okay, let's take a look. Here's the high. Here's the low. Here's where it was. Here's where it is. Look at this. Down, up, down, up, down. You made a mistake, kiddo, but at least you could admit it. And you know what, Enza? You're going to learn more from your mistakes than you are from being right. Now, you're new here, and there's nothing wrong with being new. I was new at one point in time also. Learn as you go. Make your mistakes when you have the ability to make them small, because you're going to make them, so you might as well do it early and learn from them. Okay, so right here's the top. She dropped, shot back up. Okay, let's zoom into that, Enza. I don't even know if you did zoom into it, but take a look. 30 days ago, we're at 36. Jump up to 42, drop down to 28, back up to 40, down to 33. Enza, I have no idea. Enza, why would you buy when it's dropping? Doesn't make sense. Okay. Dory, how you doing? Mortia, how you in? All right. Asianilla. Okay, Milton, Apple user. You are the first one telling the truth. All right, thank you. Where were we? Matter's only worth 150. Okay. Scott Newman, Utilico, back again. CDL Solutions, how are you? Alexander, he got a bunch of R's on the end of that one. Alexander. What about SPGI? Okay, Alexander, we already looked at spaghetti. Okay, Andrew, I haven't forgot you. That your question is still sitting there. I'm going to answer in a minute. User Chad, what's going on, Chad? Scott Newman, DVY, you say. DVY, what is DVY? Hell no. Okay, Scott, you weren't paying attention. Now, the reason I say, Scott, you weren't paying attention, number one, I don't buy anything at the high. No sense even looking at it. It's just wasting our time. Number two, Scott, I don't do monthly options, okay? February, March, June, September. Those are months of the year. That means I can do it once a month, 12 times a year. Yeah. What am I going to get? 12 to 24%? No, thank you. Brandon, Mohammed, Just me, Frejo. Thoughts on Tesla? Now, Tesla doesn't have any dividends either. So we don't really, all right, I got to show you this only for you to understand why I don't do stocks that aren't dividend stocks. All right, just me. All right. Now, what we're looking at is called an EX dividend calendar. Okay, what that does, it tells me when the stock is actually going to pay their dividend. Okay, remember I said earlier, 10,930 definitely wrong place. Okay. OBS Studio disconnected. Okay. So the reason we're looking at the calendar, okay, because just before the dividend, now the dividend is represented by these little green dots. Okay, the little green dot says these companies are getting ready to pay a dividend. So if you take a calendar, you take all the good stocks that you like, they will all pop up when they're paying their dividend. Okay, now the reason why I use the calendar is because just before the dividend is paid, the stock has a tendency to go up in value. So by knowing when the stock is going to move, it gives me a little bit of an edge to know because they're getting ready to move up. That's the only reason I'm doing dividend stocks, because they're predictable and they're consistent. They do the same thing every 90 days. That's why I like them. Okay? Tesla does not have any dividends, so we have no idea when Tesla is going to move. What are equity warrants? Lando, you're relatively new here. Okay, equity warrants is not something you want to get into until you understand what you're doing. Alex, how you doing? Andrew Poe. George, how you doing? George, Tesla, I just finished saying Tesla doesn't have any dividends. James, D-Man, Little Monk. Yes, sir. Pete Nola, good evening. JP, SoFi has no dividends either. Okay, George, I already said Tesla doesn't have dividends. Okay, what else do we got? Dago, I didn't realize Lowe's has been around that long. Yes, it has. D-Man, thoughts on SPY? I don't like SPY. Let me show you why I don't like SPY. SPY. All right, 22, are you ready? All right, here we go. D-Man, are you ready? Whoops. Get that out of the way. 500 ETF Trust. SPY. That's what it is. Look at the price. The price is 682. Now, what we're going to do, D-Man, we're going to go directly to the dividends, because the dividend is the portion of the company's profits that they share. And if it consistently goes up, guess what? They're making more money, more money, more money. That's what I'm looking for. So let's go all the way back to 2006. All right. Now, the reason we're going all the way back to 2006, remember I said I want 2 decades. That's 10, 20 years. 20 years ago will be 2006. So, D-Man, let's check out the profits on SPY. You ready? Here we go. The very first dividend in 2006 was 51.9. 51.9. Second, 55.5. That's higher. 57, higher. 79, higher. 55. Wait a second. Time out, time out, time out. 4 times it went up, 1 time it went down. Does that sound right? Think about it. You're retired. Think about this. You're retired. Every week you get $1,000, $1,000, $1,000, $750. That is a 20-some-odd% decrease. Think about it. 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 750. Why would that make sense? I'm retired. Okay? if my income goes down, it's like, whoa, what's going on? Think about it. You put 30, 40, 50 years of your life in, and all of a sudden you're getting 1,000 every single week, and then all of a sudden you're getting 700 or 800. That's not 1,000. That's less than what I want, less than what I'm expecting. I want consistency of profitability. All right, wait a second. Wait. Whoa, I missed all these questions. Cause and Astra, I saw you there, buddy. All right. Okay, so I'm looking for companies that are consistently profitable. They either have it or they don't. SPY, no. Okay? Higher, lower. Higher, lower. Higher. Let's keep on going. Lower, higher. Lower, higher, lower. Higher. No, I'm not going to play that game. Okay, I'm retired. I don't want to be guessing what my income's going to be. All right? Now, you like it, hey, more power to you. No, thank you. It's not what I'm looking for. Remember, there's over 300 companies that are doing exactly what I want. I don't do SPY. I don't do the Qs because they're not consistent. What do we got? Little Monk, JP, SoFi has no dividends. No, thank you. George, Tesla, no dividends. Duggo, yep, Lowe's has been around for a long time. D-Man, SPY, no, I just showed you it's not profitable. That guy, I used to be that guy. I did, seriously. Okay? I used to have this, when I was, I'm not dating anymore, but when I was dating, I was never known as James. I was always known as that guy. Oscar, thank you for that. Woo, all right. I was always known as that guy. You still seeing that guy? Hey, you coming with that guy? Hey, what's up with that guy? Never James, always that guy. That was me. Now I have someone in my life where I'm not that guy. I am James, which I prefer to be someone rather than that guy. Okay? Dallas Heiss, how are you doing? Henno, how are you, Miss Henno? D-Man, I have multiple accounts. I bank SCHD, hell no, and VTI, double hell no, and I reinvest all the dividends until I retire. See, D-Man, that's awesome. I'm happy for you. That's great. However, what you're picking are two companies that I would never pick. Now, the reason I say that, D-Man, is I've looked at SCHD many a times, and I looked at VTI many a times. Neither one of them gives you 50% or more for the year. Neither one. So, no, not for me anyway. But you have good luck with that one. You know, I'm not saying that insultingly either. Because whatever you're doing, if you're okay with it, you should stick with it. Don't change just because somebody says so. Do your research. Make sure it makes sense. Okay, hold on. Car, how are you? Duggo, thank you. Cosa Nostra, woohoo, is in the house. Cause, what's happening? It's like Cosmo Kramer, but it's Cosa Nostra. Okay. You know what Ambev is? Let's change this, put the damn glasses on. You would think with a 60-inch screen, seriously, the screen is 60 inches and it's 5 feet away and I still need the damn glasses. Don't get old. It's not as much fun as people think it is. All right. What are we looking at? Ambev. What the heck is Ambev? A-M-B-E-V. Never heard of it. Ambev, S-A, I have no idea what the hell that means. Hell no. Sorry, dude. When it says we cannot find this symbol, either you're putting it in wrong or it doesn't exist in the U.S. How do we check the profit? I'm not quite sure how to answer that question. Because profit is something they teach you in elementary school. If I buy something for $1 and I sell it for $1.50, that's a 50% profit. If I buy something for $10 and I sell it for $11, that's a 10% profit. I don't know how to answer that question because When you buy something and then you turn around and sell it, you should know what you paid for it and you should know what you sold it for, and the difference between the two would be your profit. So I'm not quite sure how to answer that question. BC Watt, back again, I see that. Okay, what do you do if the stock drops by 10% after you buy the covered call if the stock is still down next week? Okay, BC Watt, thank you for coming back again. Thanks for the question. Let me ask you a question. If you paid attention to rule number 1 and rule number 2, you would know, number 1, never buy something you don't want to own and you don't understand. Okay, the game that we're playing, stocks do two things. They go up and they go down. You're going to buy something and it's going to drop. Sorry to hurt your feelings, but that's what's going to happen. It's a 50-50 shot. You buy something, it's going to drop. You buy something, it's going to go up. That's it. It's a 50-50. Now, the reason I look at the charts, because the charts give me a good idea of what's happening. Okay, here's the top, here's the bottom. Here's where it was, here's where it is. Look closely. She goes up, she goes down. She goes up, she goes down, she goes up. Where do you think it's going next? That's all they do. They go up until they're done, and then they turn around and go back down again. That's it. If you're expecting a stock to come to your house and cook you dinner or take the dog for a walk, you're sadly mistaken. They go up and they go down. That's it. Speaking. I own a cup. You want to buy this cup for me for 20 bucks. I tell you what. Send me 20 cents. I'll hold it for you for the week. When the week is over, you decide whether you want to pay the 20 bucks or not. That's an option. You have the right to buy it from me anytime between now and when the option expires to exercise your option. That means if you really want my cup for 20 bucks, okay, you give me which is an option, premium. So you're paying a premium. It's kind of like a down payment, kind of, but not really, because you don't get it back. You know, you give it, but you don't get it back unless you use it. So it gives you the right, but not the obligation, to buy something at a certain price, a certain date. That's basically what an option is. All right, Jack Massey. When you're deciding whether a day is up or down, are you paying attention to the color of the bar? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Okay? Take a look, because you've seen 5 things every time you see a bar, a candle. They're called candles, and let me explain why they're called candles. You got the candle itself, you got the top wick, you got the bottom wick. You got the top horizontal line and the bottom horizontal. So the 5 things the bottom of the wick is the low price of, and the bottom is the range of the day. Now, on a green candle, the top horizontal line is the closing price. The bottom horizontal line is the opening price, thus a green up day. Okay, opens here, closed there. It means it's up. Opposite on the red. Okay, top of the wick, the high, bottom of the wick, low. The horizontal line is the opening price. The bottom horizontal line is the closing price, means the stock went down. Okay? And how do you find the bottom? Right there. Now, I don't know how to explain it any simpler than that. Okay, you take a look at whatever time frame you're looking at. That is a 1-year chart. And if that doesn't work for you, check this one out. You're going to like this one much better. Okay, this one much easier to read, but it takes up more space. I don't really like using it, but here's the thing. How do you tell what's the true bottom? CB, are you ready? Do you see that right there, that big square? It says the high. That's the high of the year. That is the low of the year. I don't have to do anything. Somebody does it for me. Big, huge white square right there. And it says low. That's the low of the year. That's the high of the year. Okay, it's already done for you. Oh, we're almost done. Holy cow. Gilly, flip your screen. All right, whatever. Can you explain? Oh, I already did that one. Mirror your screen. Thank you. S&P 5. KV, we already looked at. AT&T, we already looked at. Ambev, we already looked at. We already looked at Spaghetti. Apple. AAPL. Interesting. Let's get out of there. Let's go to there. What do you think? There's Apple right there. The top, the bottom, where was it? Where is it? Down, up, down, up, down, up. Now it looks like Apple is changing directions. Here's the top right there. Okay, there's the top, drops, back up, back down. Now we have 1 day to the upside. Only one. I like to have 3. 2 days the upside. On the 3rd day, I'll jump in. So let's take up some more of these questions. What's a good covered call tomorrow? Hey, Victor, how are you today? Uh-oh. Connor, GT, isn't that Goodyear tire? If he knew, he wouldn't grift on TikTok. Well, thank you for that, Clueless. All right. Tyson, thank you. Victor, how long do you have to hold a stock to get the dividend? 2 days. Moanne, could you please explain why stocks go up when they are about to issue a dividend and how to take advantage? Well, that's an interesting question. Let me see if I can explain it as quickly as possible. Old people like consistency and predictability. And most people who buy dividend stocks looking to collect the dividend called dividend capturing. Okay, because it's right there. All you got to do is buy the stock before the EX date, sell it after the EX date, and just grab it. It's called dividend capturing. Okay, people look for they look for money. They look for guaranteed money because the dividend is something they pay out consistently every 90 days. So there's a whole bunch of people out there, and it's called dividend capturing. You look at the stock, you get ready to buy it just before the dividend, and when people buy just before the dividend, the stock goes up. How you take advantage of it? You come up with a trading strategy that makes sense. There's so many of them, it's difficult to tell you all of them. We already did that. We already did that. Alex, what's happening? Alex is in the house. Tyson, how do we do it? Okay, I've been explaining that one. All right. Clipper Jones, how are you today? You got some more questions. Let's go. More questions. We already looked at Ford. Moanne, please. You asked the same question about 10 times. Only ask once. Cause and Astra, what's happening? All right. Do buy the stock and hold them after the calls or are over, or sell those the same time as the EX date? No. Okay, so the EX date, all it is the day in which the stock is getting ready to pay the dividend. The EX date is the last day the stock trades before the dividend is paid. So buying the stock before the EX date allows you to qualify to capture the dividend. But you do have to own the dividend stock on the date of record. Okay? Passport Eric, I collected good premiums on Dollar Tree last 2 weeks. No dividends though, but I got it from our list. Yeah, some people do like a Dollar Tree. I do invest in it once in a while. There are a few that I will break the rules for. There are a few. Dollar Tree is one of them. Just because of the way the economy is, more people are going towards the Dollar Tree, and it's just stocks just keep going up. How long are you holding these companies, and do you always sell calls against these? The HUD 6. Every single position I have gives me some money every single week. That's all I do. The money comes in every single week from each and every single position I have. I don't have a single position in any of my stuff that doesn't have weekly options, that I don't take advantage of every single week. Annie, how are you? William Ward, I've watched in silence. How have you not pulled out your hair? I have 4 children and 1 grandchild. Patience, okay? Ooh, Shoprative, Harley Davidson. We're running out of time. We're not going to be able to take a look at Harley Davidson. We're not going to look at any more stocks tonight because we're running out of time. It's 10 minutes of 11, and I'm usually done by 11. Ooh, Alex, how's Hertz looking? Don't know. We'll look at it tomorrow. American Airlines, if one more update, maybe. William, I paid 98 cents per share for Ford and still riding it. Cool beans. Care Bear, how are you doing? River, how are you? Thank you for that. William Ward, thank you. Christo, how do you pick your stock prices to sell the call? You know, some of these questions, Christo, I'm finding a little challenging, okay? If I'm buying a stock at 263.88, the closest strike price is going to be this 262.50. That's it. Whichever one's closest and safe. That's it. If I'm buying it at $50, I'm selling the 50. If I buy it at $10, I'm selling it at 10. Do I do penny stocks? No, I don't. William Ward, you're over 60? Cool beans, so am I. This room is popping tonight. Yeah, it's going pretty good. BBWI, uh-oh. Bed Bath Works? Bed and Bath Works, is that it? Love penny and got burnt a lot. Yep, I tried it many, many years ago. I just don't do it anymore. Why do we care if we like the camp company? If it's profitable, it's a good buy. No, not necessarily so. Because there are companies that are profitable, but the morals behind it might not be good, such as Reynolds. They do cigarettes. Some people are strictly against cigarettes and they won't do it. Or Coors, or Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch. Some people are just dead against certain things on, low battery, on principle. Okay, so anytime you want to buy something, make sure you want to own it. Okay, not everything people want to buy and own. To minimize taxes, do we need incorporate first? Chad, that's an awesome question. That's like the best question of the night. To minimize taxes, do we need incorporation first? Well, here's the thing. If you have your trading account in your own personal name, congratulations. You are paying the absolute highest taxes possible. Seriously. If your trading account is in your personal name, you are paying the absolute highest taxes there is. If you do an LLC, a limited liability corporation, or a family trust, some kind of foundation, something that gets it out of your name, then you're paying taxes on the corporate level. And that's totally different. Because here's the thing about corporations. Corporations have expenses, such as, hypothetically speaking, a corporate car, corporate insurance for key employees. If I'm the president of my corporation pays for a car for me, pays for my health insurance for me, and pays for my life insurance for me because I'm a key employee to my corporation. Thus, all the profits that I make get offset by the losses of the corporation. And guess, here's another good one. You're going to love this one. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, my corporation decides that our corporate quarterly meeting is going to be in Cancun this week. Guess what? That's a tax write-off. And if you structure it properly, that means you fly to Cancun on a Friday, you stay over the weekend, and you have your corporate meeting on Monday morning, or you have your pre-meeting on Friday, the highlights, and then Monday it's an in-depth meeting. What about the weekend? That's free. Think about it. Anyway, let's keep on going. How do we check that? Mido, I'm not quite sure. Mido, I'm not sure what is it you want to check. St. Martin, hey, back again. Nice to see you. American Airlines is one more update. Okay. Someone didn't pay attention, didn't pay internet bill. No, that's not it at all. It's the whole area is going out. It's not just me. Okay? Yep, TT out. I have no idea what that means. Oh no, TikTok stream is down too. Oh, what a bummer. It seems to be okay here. Brock's mom, how are you? Nick, BBWI, we look at tomorrow. Christo, thank you for sharing your experience. You're welcome. John Bahay, ask me tomorrow about TAP. Vivian, good evening, Ms. Vivian, and how are you today? Christo, how do you pick your stock prices for selling calls? Whatever I buy it for, whatever strike price is the closest. That's a no. What were you thinking, jokester? How are you doing? Vivian, hello, good evening. Alex, all done. Yep, we're all done. I'm finishing up with the questions. What do we have here? Gemma, what's going on? Rena, good evening. Jim Bibby, woohoo! Unable to log in on Zoom. It says you are in another meeting. Really? Sorry about that, Jim. Gorlock, the video is reversed. I suppose to watch it in the mirror. Is it reversed? Let me see. All right, let me stand up. Let me move this out of the way. No, that's a no. It looks normal to me. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. All right, what are we looking at? What's the ticker? You never answered Andrew's question. Yes, I did. He wanted to know what an option was. An option is the right, but not the obligation. That's a call option. A put is obligatory. If you buy or sell a put, you're forcing someone or someone is forcing you into doing something. Okay, let's keep on keeping on. Your Humana call hit. Okay. Do you believe in Johnson & Johnson? Yeah, but Johnson & Johnson has terrible premiums. They're a great company, but the premiums aren't that good. They don't give 1% every week. Mick, what's going on? The doctor lawyer. Now that's interesting. A doctor and a lawyer together. Passport Eric, Delta. We'll take a look at it tomorrow. Making book, he doesn't answer Andrew's option question. Who wants some? Cotton Express, how many times do you want me to answer Andrew's question? He wanted to know what an option is. I answered it 4 times. Can we check Bud tomorrow? He's got 8 screens, but only looks at 1. Not true. Sorry, folks. He knows I'm on this screen, probably why he doesn't look this way. No, Cotton Express, that's not it at all. Okay, I alternate between the different screens. Passport Eric, spaghetti is ready, but a little expensive. Yeah, you're right. Cotton Express, he's freezing, thank you. James is a good man, just not technically literate. Now, I'm not quite sure how to take that one, Cotton, but all right. But he's absolutely right. I have a lot of knowledge. I got a lot of wisdom, but technology is not my thing. That's why I have eight. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 cameras. Okay, they're not actually cameras. They're iPhones. I have 8 iPhones because iPhones are easy. You turn it on. You pick whatever platform you want to stream on, and then you hit play. And then I just got to stand in front of it and talk and answer the questions. That is easy. What's challenging is trying to figure out how the software that I paid for works. I actually paid for the software. I have no idea how it works, and I usually have my son Jacob come up and fix it for me. See, so I've had this old computer for years, and Jacob said, time for a new one. I don't want to buy a new one. The old one works slowly. So we got a brand new computer, so everything is really quick. But I still got the 8 cameras going. And one of these days, when I actually learn how to use the software, I'll probably only have 1 or 2 cameras. Your comments on Microsoft. We already looked at Microsoft. Microsoft is a dividend aristocrat. 25 years of increased profits. We'll take a better look at it tomorrow. Why don't you ever look at this camera? Cotton, I do. Rubinet. Ooh. Threading, that's that right? Threading the needles. Pfizer, I like it. Yes, Kovo, I got 8 iPhones. Actually, I got more than 8, but I only have 8 of them running at the moment. And then I have OBS Studio on the computer itself, and OBS Studio pushes it out to 5 other websites. So yeah, there's quite a bit of websites that I'm blurting out to, so to speak. All right, so what else do we got? JFM, how are you today? Pfizer, we looked at Pfizer. No, we'll look at it tomorrow. Oh, wait a minute. That's it. I'm done over here. User 361970862019. Why couldn't your parents name you Tim? Oscar, thank you, Oscar. Why couldn't they name you Tim or Tom? How do we qualify for calls with Fidelity? You actually got to call up the broker and say, I want to qualify. I want to do options. And what they'll do is they'll send you a book to read. I believe it's called Characteristics and Risks of Standardized Options. I believe that's the name of the book. You got to read the book and you got to agree to everything. Like, do you understand that options are risky? Well, they are risky if you don't understand them. Okay? So you got to read the book, and then you got to fill in a bunch of paperwork, and then you get to do options. But don't do them unless you understand them. All right, we got 1 second left down here. Gen Xer, we're going to take a look at Holly Davidson tomorrow. Christo, can you apply for it through the platform or website? I'm pretty sure you can. But when I did it, oh my God, I did it over 30 years ago. All right, what else do we have here? Vino, I'm learning something every day. Good for you. Ale, Procter & Gamble, I like it. There's just 2 directions, up and down, even it's ranging. Thank you, Chrysler. Bullish on Parade. Hey, man, loving the channel. Been going back and watching older videos. Keep it up. Thank you. How do you set up an LLC? Talk to who on the website? All right, Riley. Literally, you can open up an LLC for $0, and you just got to pay the state fee. I think it was like $49 to set up an LLC in the state of Florida. But depending on how you want to do it, you really should talk to a professional, like a lawyer, an accountant, and say, hey, I want to put my retirement funds into an LLC or a corporation to protect it against taxation. Okay? Because in LLC, you get a lot of write-offs that you can write off. which offsets profits. See, profits of one corporation can be offset by losses of another corporation. So if you're making lots of money in your trading account and the IRS wants to tax you, you say, wait a second, this is in my corporation. I got this bill, I got that bill, I got this bill, I got that bill. Okay, so that you actually have to talk to someone about. And you could probably just look up on YouTube how to set up an LLC with limited amount of money. All right, what else do we have down here? We got it, Riley, you're welcome. Thoughts on TD Bank? Bullish, we'll take a look at it tomorrow. Mr. Green, that's right, James, tell them. All right, Vino, is this channel still streaming? I'm seeing the loading spinning only. We're having issues with the internet around here. And it's not just me, I'm getting phone calls. Well, she's getting phone calls from people saying, well, the internet's down, is your internet up? And she went to bed early because the YouTube went out. All right, anyway, let's keep on going. It's spinning, yep, I heard that. We're good now, okay, still spinning, broken, blah, 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 yep. YouTube is down again, okay. Nope. Apply, you have to adjust your risk tolerance settings. Thank you, nope. Unless he is AI generated and has a glitch. No, AI generation doesn't do this, you know? This is not AI. I've never seen an AI do that one. Anyway, Vino, that's weird. In the morning had issues with Fidelity, now YouTube. Okay, the other channel still playing. Okay, thank you, Greenwoods. Mom, get off the phone. I'm trying to use the internet. Yep, we had that issue back a long time ago when we had dial-up. I don't know if you guys remember dial-up. If somebody picked up the phone, you got kicked off. How do you find the EX date? Ooh, Rock, that's a good question. Now, I'm using Thinkorswim. So on Thinkorswim, the EX dates are already there. Okay? See the calendar behind me? All those little green dots represent the EX date. Now, you could, if you wanted to, go to Google and put in the search EX dividend calendar. And then you just put your stocks that you like into the calendar and they'll pop up. Because you know what? I actually have a Google Sheets. You can download it onto your phone and you can insert stocks in it and it'll tell you what stocks are paying on what day. So you look at this week, what stocks are paying. Okay, yeah, we created that Google Sheet a while ago. I just got to find it. All right, what do we got? Bullish. Keep eyeballing Dollar Tree seems to topped out for me. Well, let's pull up Dollar Tree for a second. DLTR. DLTR. Oh, yeah. Oh, hell yeah, that baby's coming down. No, think about it. Bullish. Take a look. Let's zoom in. Okay. Check it out, bullish. 15 and 30. So 115. All righty. What else do we got? Ooh, we'll look at Walmart next time. Oh, wait a minute, that's it. That's the last question. Here it is. Thanks for another night of knowledge sharing. You got it, Vino. Bear in a foxhole wants to look at Wally World. WMT. There it is. And it figures. There it is. Hell no. Who came up with Walmart? Bear in a foxhole at the high of the year. Yeah. No, thank you. No, thank you. All right, so we are done. We're going to do this all over again tomorrow. I got all the questions done. There's no more questions here. No more questions there. No more questions there. That means I am done for the night. You guys have a great day, and we're going to do this all over again tomorrow. I got unstable connection, lost connection. And you guys have a great day. And we will do this tomorrow. Tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow. All right. Ooh, that one didn't even start. You guys have a great day. Great day.